Yeah, okay. You know, I noticed something odd the last time I watched this movie. Look at this scene right here. Right at the beginning, when Marty and Jennifer get accosted by that Save the Clock Tower woman.
Save the clock tower!
You can see something black hanging on the face of the clock tower. Is that Doc Brown's electrical cord from 1955? Probably it's just a continuity error. Like, maybe they shot the 1955 stuff first? But in the world of the movie, what would its presence mean? After Doc Brown gets shot by the Libyans, Marty accidentally takes the time machine back to 1955. He can't make it back to 1985 because the time machine needs a jolt of 1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts!
Supplied in 1985 by plutonium. The only way to send Marty back is to harness a bolt of lightning. Doc Riggs lines up to the clock tower, feeds the lightning into the time machine, and sends Marty back to 1985. Because of Marty's interferences in the past, the future has now been changed. Because of the tree he ran over, the Twin Pine Mall is now the Lone Pine Mall. Doc Brown survives the shooting, and Marty's family has changed for the better. But how could Doc Brown's 30-year-old electrical cord have been hanging there earlier on the day Marty went back in time? Because we're not seeing the first Marty to go back in time. When our Marty returns from 1955, he gets back in time to watch himself drive away in the time machine and zip back to 1955. What we didn't know at the start of the movie was that there must have been an earlier Marty, just returned from 1955, watching our Marty getting into the time machine. How did this happen?
Wait a minute. I got all the time I want. I got a time machine. I can just go back early and warn him.
When Marty reset the time machine to return a few minutes before he left 1985, he created a time loop of one Marty returning from 1955 to watch another Marty leaving for 1955. A loop that conceivably stretches on into eternity. The presence of Doc Brown's cord on the clock tower is proof that this has all already happened. So our Marty is at least the second version to go back to 1955. Or maybe he's the 10th, or the 100th, or the 1000th. So why does the movie focus on this version of Marty, be he the second or 2558th? But why not be about the first Marty who created the whole time loop to begin with? My guess is that our Marty is the one who creates the happiest version of 1985. The Marty to go back in time before our Marty must have really screwed things up in 1955 to create the dismal 1985 our Marty lives in. His mom's a drunk, dad's a dweeb, his band is going nowhere.
Hold it, fellas.
Our Marty changes all that. But what about the Marty he watched go back to 1955 the night before? There's no telling what version of 1985 that poor bastard's gonna create. Remember, the other Marty that our Marty watches go back in time grew up in the good 1985 our Marty created, where he's proud of his dad, his siblings are popular, and they appear to be affluent. This other Marty won't behave in 1955 the way our Marty did. For example, since the other Marty grew up affluent, he probably wasn't stuck with the poor kid's mode of transportation, the skateboard. He probably cut his teeth on fancy 10-speed bikes and scooters and his own car for his 16th birthday. He probably can't ride a skateboard to save his life. So how will he get away when Biff and his flunkies chase him out of Pop Tate's chocolate shop? Biff probably sends this other Marty flying into that manure truck head first. And speaking of Biff, our Marty learned that the moment his mother and father fell in love was when Lorraine's father hit George with the car. But that hasn't happened now. The other Marty doesn't know about our Marty getting hit by the car instead. Why would his parents tell him that story? How does he think his parents met? They may not have told him, but if they did, it would have to be the time George cold-cocked Biff when he tried to rape Lorraine. So think about it. The other Marty our Marty watches go back in time, his main task in 1955 is going to be orchestrating the attempted rape of his own mother. How sick is that? No wonder they didn't make the movie about him. That's all very interesting, but I don't think that's Doc Brown's electrical cord hanging off the clock tower. Looks like it's just dirt. Or a shadow. Still though, I'd love to see that Let's Rape Lorraine version of Back to the Future. Sounds like a real hoot.